Welcome back, YouTube. What I'm doing here right now is one of the last things I need to do before installing the air handler is to make a plenum, the return air supply plenum. That's the last thing I need to do before I can actually install the air handler in the ceiling. And you'll never work with this stuff. It's ductboard. Comes in a 10-foot by 4-foot section. Not a 4 by 8, but a 10 by 8. And what I'm doing right now is paring it down to a size that's workable that I can use without killing myself. All I really need is about 36-inch wide, and and about 8 foot long. And I've already cut a piece off to make it 8. I cut a 2-foot piece off. Welcome back, YouTube. I apologize for the lighting, but this is an edit. Unfortunately, I got this bass backwards when I put it in the video yesterday. I was describing the shiplaps that a ductboard comes with, and it comes with one end that's shiplap, a male, and one end's a female. And of course, I described them exactly backwards. So let me do this again. This end is a female. Why? Because they tell me it is. Okay, manufacturer says so. A female shiplap favors the foil side. You see what I'm saying? It favors the foil side. A male shiplap, and this is a flap, a paper flap used for taping. Male shiplap favors the inside of the board. Okay. I also failed to mention, by the way, that this is R6, 1.5-inch ductboard we're dealing with here. And all the tools that I'm using are specifically made for R6. All the shiplap tools, everything else, made for R6. Now the reason this board is like this, it comes from the factory like this. This is a 4-foot section, by the way, and it's 2 feet that I cut off from the 4 by 10 foot sheet. I cut it off because I didn't need it, and I wanted to make the sheet shorter so that I could handle it a little easier when I was cutting. But the reason it comes like this in a 4-foot section like this is because when you're making duct and you want to tape sections together, you can make 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, however many you want, sections of duct, and they will plug into each other using these shiplaps. In my particular case, the only shiplap I left machined, I'm going to call it a factory machine shiplap, the only one I left on the board is the female, because when I fold my sections up like this into a box, I need an end cap. There'll be an end cap sitting in here. Just a square piece of duct board to close off the end of the plenum. And so I need the female shiplap on the end. And that's the gist of it. Again, this is an edit, so if it looks out of place, oh well. That's the way it goes. There was one other thing I wanted to say, and I can't remember what it was, so I'll have to let that go. And this, I'm going to cut it down 36 inches. I'm going to flip it over because we don't work on this side when we're making a plenum. We'll work on the inside, or the fiberglass side of it. So I'm going to shut it down. Welcome back, YouTube. I just got done marking up my panel And I apologize for the lighting here. It's the best I can do this time of the night. But my plenum is going to be 22 by 25, and it's going to be 36 inches long. So what I did was I started here at this end, of course, marked off 22 inches. Next panel is 25 inches to this line. Next panel is 22 inches to this line. And on the final line, I hope I remember this correctly, I marked off 25 inches to this line here. Okay. But we're going to cut it short by 3/4 of an inch, because that is going to fit, this lip is going to fit into a shiplap we're going to put over here, which is going to be 3/4 of an inch deep. So that's why that's 3/4 inches short, and the rest of it we're going to leave long here because we need the paper as a flap. Okay, so this is going to be our cut line. But to be safe, in case I didn't remember this correctly, I'm going to cut to this line, fold it all up as a plenum, and then just to make sure that I remembered correctly, and that it's 3/4 of an inch I need to cut off of this thing. So I'm going to cut it off at the 25-inch line. When I fold it up, it should be too long, and I'll have to cut 3/4 of an inch off at that time. Already got all kinds of dog hair on this for my dog here. Unbelievable. Alright, so next step, I got a shiplap tool. We're not going to shiplap this just yet. What we are going to do is this is a Malco, I'm sorry, an Amcraft. It's what they call a red tool. It puts a V-groove in. We're going to do V-grooves and make sure that everything's in camera view here. We're going to do V-grooves on this. And the way I use this tool, and I'm speaking like I'm an expert, but I'm not, is that we'll start by following the line. I'm going to do it freehand. Okay? Just following the line. And straight on through. And that'll be our first fold. Now, there are fancier tools out there these days, and I've seen them all. They all require special systems, special squares, and all that. Hey, if you only have one, plenum to make, that's a hell of an investment. So let's get started with this first one here. Take my time here. This isn't precision work, by the way. I mean, you can be off a little bit and still get away with it. Not a big deal. Make sure you stay flat. And push off the end here. Okay. First one. There you go. Okay. Let's get the others done. I don't know if you need to watch me. I'll do one more. I don't know if you need to watch me do every single one of them. I'm going to get this camera set up right. I don't know if you can see. Let's see. Bear with me, everything is dark in here, so looks pretty good on the camera, but it's actually dark in here. Not very light. So this will be the second one. That's the first piece was 22 inch, this is 25 inch. Again, freehand. By the way, there's a mark on here to keep you centered. So you just want to keep it centered over the line that you drew. This stuff is $65 a board, so I can't afford to make a mistake. It's a costly mistake if I make a mistake. I had to buy a whole new board for $65. I was shocked. I was shocked by the price. But it is what it is. Get this out of here, you just want to bend it a little bit. It's 2. And I'm going to shut it off until we get to the end of this. You don't need to see any more. I got one more to do, one more groove, and then I'm going to cut the end off like I said. Okay, I'm back again, and I think earlier I mentioned that we're going to cut a shiplap into this edge. I'll turn the screen here so I can see what you see. Again, I apologize for the lighting. You're getting some reflection from the bottom here, but if you notice, this tool is a female shiplap tool. I got it on Amazon.com. And the way this works is that we are going to cut the shiplap this way. We're going to have the shoulder of the tool resting on the foil edge here, okay? And we're going to cut through it this way. And it's going to cut about 3/4 of an inch out of here. We need that when we join the other end. We need the shiplap on this. Now this is not going to be perfect. This is flexible, but it'll be close enough. Okay, that's our shiplap. We can clean it up just a little bit here. No big deal. It's not rocket science. Okay, that's good enough. So now we got a shiplap. I want to clean this edge up a little bit. It's as clean as it's going to get. It's a little crooked. Doesn't matter, it's fiberglass and it's flexible, so it'll all conform eventually. I'll be back when I'm ready to fold this thing up. Okay, welcome back. Like I said, I'm working this end now, the other end. And like I said, I cut on a 25-inch line, but I think I'm supposed to cut on a 25 3/4. But I want to be safe. Better safe than sorry. In case I misremember how to do this. Of course, I'm no expert at this, and I don't do a lot of it. So now we have a flap, okay, and we still have 3/4 of an inch to cut off if we need to. And let's give it a try and see what it looks like. Fold it up. See if you're going to be able to see this. Out of your view. How's that? Now you got that bright light in the corner there. That's what she's going to look like. It's just a matter of whether or not I can see already by eye that I got to take that 3/4 inch off because the top of it is wider than the bottom, about by 3/4 of an inch. Let's see, that's 25, and this is 26, close to 26. So I do have to cut that 3/4 of an inch off. Alright, so we'll do that now. And by the way, when I cut this is a worn out blade. It's rounded off on the tip, and that's intentional. I'm using it intentionally because I don't want to cut through the paper. Okay, so I'm just going to do this freehand. I'm going to take this 3/4 inch off. got a paper flap, a vapor barrier, and now it should fit perfectly. It should fold up and fit perfectly. Let's see. Perfect. What do you think, YouTube? Huh? What do you think? Now this thing is, of course it has to be stapled and taped. None of which I'm going to do yet because it's not at its final length. It's got to go through a hole in the wall, up into the attic to get its final length. But that's what it's going to look like. Alrighty, that's it, YouTube.